Hey guys, welcome to another J&P Dirt Bike Productions video. I'm Joshua.
I'm Pap.
And today we're talking about the CRF230F versus the CRF250F. Two bikes that we're fairly acquainted with. We've both ridden quite a bit on both bikes, so pretty knowledgeable on what you should purchase and what you're looking for in that particular bike. So I'll start off here with the 230. They had a good run, 2003, I think, all the way up to 2019, I believe was the last year of production for these. So the 250 kind of took over for this. Both air-cooled, bulletproof designs. I've actually seen a good bit of people riding these and abusing them, and they hold up really well. The clutch on that 250F is like bulletproof. 230F, the clutch design leaves a little bit to be desired if you're going to be really ripping on it, but if you're just trail riding, you probably won't have many issues. You might have to change the clutch here and there, but a very bulletproof bike, cheap to fix the engine, you know, $50 for a cylinder, piston, circlips, rings, and the whole bit. So if you're going to do the work yourself, it's a cheap rebuild. I think that's the only drawback really of the 250 is the availability on parts, being that it's a newer bike.
Yeah, I'm sure parts for this are very expensive.
Yeah, they're either expensive or they're going to be hard to get, I guess. But it's been out for 3 years now, so you know, maybe that'll change here in time. Hopefully they'll have something similar to the rebuild kit that they offer for the 230. Being that both of these bikes were produced in Brazil instead of Japan, I think the parts eventually will become cheaper for the 250 for the rebuild, so nothing to worry about there. I'm sure you'll get hundreds of hours out of both of these as long as you change the oil regularly. I guess comfort-wise, the seat on the 230 is not really the best. The 250F, it's not really super great either, but honestly, it's a lot more plush than it looks.
Yeah, they put more padding in.
I was surprised. Yeah,
it's a little thicker with the padding, and it's a little more curved in.
Right. Yeah, I mean the seat comfort is definitely better than it looks. I'll tell you that. Now it pales in comparison to an XR seat, but as far as the CRFs go, that's a pretty good trail bike seat. I mean, I think it's fine, you know, for a CRF. So rim sizes are the same. You get disc brakes on the front of both of these bikes. There's a drum on the rear of the 230. The 250F has disc brakes all around. Fantastic braking in the woods. The braking on the 250F is way better than the 230. I mean, obviously it's a newer bike, but the dual disc brakes, you really can't beat that. As far as I'm concerned, they stop really nice. Has a nice premium feel.
Both have nice big foot pegs on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the foot pegs, yeah, like the XRs, some of the XRs have really small foot pegs. I'm sure you've come across that, and there's different guys that make bigger foot pegs. You can buy bigger ones online. A lot more parts selection on both these bikes, really. You can get a lot of billet foot pegs or CNC ones that are nice. The rims are, I think, the same size, 21 up front and 18 in the back, so you're getting a nice tire selection all around. They're both decent looking bikes. They have a good look to them. Obviously the 250F's newer, so it has the fancier plastics, but it's, you know, the 230 still looks really nice. They're both great beginner trail bikes, and even if you wanted to ride this thing in like a hard enduro, it would hold up great. I've seen guys do a lot of riding on this bike, and I would never shy away from a long trip or you know, any kind of hardcore race just because it's labeled as a trail bike. It's still very competitive and very capable.
It'll get up and go.
Yeah, lots of good speed out of both of these bikes. The power on this bike, smooth power delivery, same with this one, not quite as much torque. Got a lot of top end speed, real comfortable on the street for both of these. Suspension stock.
6-speed transmission on.
Right, 6-speed transmission. Suspension stock for both of these is okay. The 230 is a little stiff for my liking. The 250 moves okay. I think it could probably benefit from maybe some progressive springs up front or possibly a different rear shock. I've heard people putting aftermarket shocks on the 250, and apparently it handles a lot better. So for me though, the fuel injection, it's easy to start this bike. And you get really good gas mileage. I mean, no choking involved, no shut-off keys, you know, nothing to mess with. I mean, this is maintenance free until the pump goes.
Or until the battery goes dead.
Or until the battery goes dead. So.
Battery goes dead, it does not run at all.
Yeah, so that's the one thing. You want to make sure you have a good battery that's freshly charged, you know, every year. I guess I wish there was a fuel shutoff valve, but they obviously didn't put one of those on there to kind of safeguard for folks who would shut off the gas and then try and run the fuel out on an injection system. It's not good for the injectors.
Yeah, I start this once a month in the winter, so I'll come over and start it up, let it run for 5 minutes, and just shut it down.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid bike. You really can't ask for more for something that's new. I think it's like $5,500 out the door. It's got a good look to it. You can get a Yoshimura exhaust for this bike that really will take it up a notch as far as your power. Like I said, if you wanted to add, and that's the other thing, I've seen these plastic kits that people can put over the frame to block from rubbing the paint off, and you can really
have a piece in here to keep that
right
metal from rubbing the paint all off.
And I know I've seen somebody post, and I'll show over here, they actually have a little piece of metal that sticks out on the side. This here is to keep your boot from rubbing the paint off the frame. So people were asking what that was online. I do believe that's what they were intending, was to keep the paint from rubbing off, because on every XR you'll see paint rubbing off no matter how many hours it has. There's always some kind of paint rub.
Well, your boots rub against there continuously.
Yeah, you get mud on there, it's like sandpaper. So, but yeah, the disc brakes on this bike really steal the show. I'm glad that they decided to put those on here. I think it really helps with stopping. It definitely makes you more confident when you're in the woods and you're able to stop on a dime if you need to. So that's a fantastic add. I know this motor is going to be bulletproof. You know, they built a really great XR series of bikes that were bulletproof. The 230s were good as well. Cheap to rebuild, and then these 250s I'm sure will be the same. I guess motor wise, the only difference really between these two bikes is the 250F is actually a 4-valve and the 230 is a 2-valve, so you're getting a lot of extra power out of this one. It's 265 pounds, so it is a bit of a load. It's heavy, right? But
it handles very well. It's
great balance on this bike,
good
honestly.
Balance, and I'm pretty good with the shocks on this. It's much better than the old 200 I had.
Right, or 250.
Or the 250. Of course, the shock was getting old on the 250 also. So.
Yeah, I mean, nice fresh suspension on this. Obviously, you know, makes it a lot better. Pap takes a little bit less of a beating when we're out on the trail. So we're looking forward to doing some more riding this year. We got a couple guys we want to go out and ride with this summer, and it'll be fun. So if you see us around, feel free to say hi. And
yeah, and tune in next time, because we are going to showcase 2 special build bikes.
There you go.
You won't want to miss that one.
It's a surprise. And you know, I know a lot of people will ask, you know, make sure you subscribe to the video. I'll go ahead and say it because, hey, it's free. Subscribe. It helps us grow the channel, and it helps us put out more great content. You know, you get to see Grampy. I mean, what more do you want, you know?
71 still riding. Heck
yeah, man. So it's good, clean fun. They're both great bikes. I wouldn't shy away from purchasing either one. If you're able to pick up one of these 250Fs for like a little over 3K, that's a steal of a deal for this kind of bike. I mean, either of these bikes, and especially if you have the full kit like this one has with the bark busters and the lights and all that stuff. This is actually a street legal 230, so it's easily worth around $3 grand. But yeah, I mean, both bikes competitive, they're fun. If you want something that's a little lighter, the 230 might be for you. If you want something that's a little newer with a bulletproof engine, it is a little heavier, but honestly, you can't hardly tell when you're in the woods as long as it's pulling you around. Yeah, excellent balance. It's good looking, and it's low to the ground, so it's easy for somebody to get on who's not as tall. And
it's Trump endorsed.
And it's Donald Trump endorsed, if you're into that, you know. So obviously that adds at least 15 horsepower to the motor right there, just putting that sticker on there. So, you know, we should make an orange one. Okay. But yeah. So yeah, that's basically the review. Both fun bikes to ride. Get out there and enjoy it. If you guys see us on the trail this summer down at Wellsville or wherever else we go, might go down to Mines and Meadows, wave, get some pictures with the celebrities, you know what I'm saying? Pap, world-renowned engineer. So
fix it all.
We fix it all, baby. That's what we do. So
I can fix it. If it's broke, I can fix it.
It's a true story. So all right, well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you subscribe and follow along for new content. As always, we appreciate your viewership, and we'll see you in the next one.
Okay.